beach once more before turning around to kiss Josie. She kissed him back just long enough for them both to be happy. When she slipped out of his arms, he let her go. No nonsense, no jealousy, no neediness, respect, affection, comfort, chemistry. It was the kind of relationship people who could take care of themselves did well. Archer and Josie did it extremely well. They met a year ago. Archer snapped a picture of her at the Pro-Am volleyball tournament. She had her hand on her hip, baseball hat on backwards, sunglasses covering her eyes. When the picture was printed, Josie was pleased. She could see her six-pack abs, the ropes of muscles in her legs, and the fine definition of her biceps. Archer said that wasn't what he saw. He saw her glaring at him from behind those glasses, unhappy that she had lost a critical point, determined she wouldn't lose the next one. He knew they would be more than good friends. It took Josie a month longer to figure it out. "You want more coffee?" Josie picked up the thermal pot to pour herself a cup. He shook his head. Josie and her coffee joined him by the balcony railing. "I got the sun coming up. I picked up some woman skinny dipping around 5. Archer lifted his chin to indicate the surf. Josie looked at him. He had a wonderful profile. He looked like an Irish boxer. Strong-jawed, short, straight nose, eyes that were dark and close together. Those eyes held a person tight in his line of sight. His was a man's face and a man's body. He didn't own a suit. He was as different from the men Josie used to date as Baxter and Associates was from the kind of law she used to practice. What had she seen in those men in designer suits? Josie leaned into him, playfully banging his shoulder with her own. "You're going to get sued one of these days when somebody sees themselves on a postcard or in a magazine. I know a good lawyer. She wouldn't let me down." He pushed back. Not a hint of a smile. It wasn't his way. He smiled with his eyes, with his touch. Josie knew when Archer was happy. It was the same way he showed hurt and anger and compassion, with his eyes, with his touch. "I wouldn't count on that," Josie said wryly. "I might decide you're not worth it one of these days." Archer put a big hand on the back of her neck and followed up with a kiss. He pulled Josie into him, draping his arm over her shoulder. "This from a woman who lets herself in and has her way with me in the middle of the night? I think I can count on her." Josie sipped her coffee and stayed nestled against him. He waited just long enough, and then gave her the nudge she seemed to want. "So, you weren't exactly talkative last night." Josie chuckled softly. The truth was, they hadn't exchanged 2 words. Archer once told her that he could tell what she needed by the way she came to bed. If Josie wanted to talk, she crawled in already debating. When she needed something else, something more personal, she came in quietly, stayed close. He could hear her thinking. He even seemed to know whether it was old troubles or new that had to be dealt with. Then there were the nights like last night. It wasn't sleep she wanted or talking she needed. Josie needed to clear her mind so she could rest, and Archer had a way of making that happen. "I had a visitor last night," Josie began, training her eyes on the runner of sand and the never-ending carpet of blue ocean as she filled him in. 20 minutes later, they were sitting in the beach chairs on the balcony sharing a bagel, Josie's coffee was cold.